Hypothesis testing. So when do we use hypothesis testing? Let's say you are studying for an exam from YouTube channels since many years, and the average marks that you get out of 10 is 8. Now suppose for a change you want to check if you do self-study without checking the YouTube channels, will it bring an improvement in your marks or not? So, you study without checking the YouTube videos and take 2 tests and get 6 out of 10 marks. So, and all these all these data, they have a population standard deviation of 1 mark, plus minus 1 mark. So based on these 2 tests that you took, can you conclude that the method of doing self-study was not better than checking the YouTube videos while studying? So how can you conclude with the given information that you have? Can I even conclude anything by just giving 2 tests and seeing this mark with the standard deviation? Like, what is the metric to be sure that a conclusion can be drawn out of whatever data that I have while comparing? So for this purpose, people do hypothesis testing, in which you can at least know whether it is whether you can be sure to conclude something or not from the given data. So the method of statistical inference, that is whether you can conclude or not, used to decide whether data at hand, whatever data, how many tests you took, samples you took, whether that data at hand sufficiently supports particular hypothesis. Hypothesis is that whether the YouTube material are better, or the tests or self-study, they are better. So is this data sufficient to prove this or not? Maybe the hypothesis is true, but the data that you have says the hypothesis is false. So you conclude that the hypothesis is false. So it depends on the data that you have on hand. So this hypothesis testing is done by 2 methods: rejection approach, rejection region approach, and p-value approach. And both of these approaches include 2 hypotheses. One is null hypothesis, another is alternate hypothesis. Null hypothesis, which is usually denoted by H0, it says that nothing new is happening. Whatever it was there previously, the same thing is being happening even after the test, or even after some program. So it generally denotes no effect. On the other hand, alternate hypothesis, which is denoted by H1, it is the researcher's claim, or the claim of something happening, something changed, something that is not the null hypothesis. Suppose null hypothesis, according to this scenario, it would have been that the average marks that you were getting after self-study is also same as 8. The null hypothesis would say that mu, or the average marks that you get, will be greater than 8. If the hypothesis was that self-study gets you more marks than checking YouTube channels. So based on these 2 hypotheses, we'll do some statistics, we'll find out some numbers, and then we collect the evidence, whatever evidence or data that we had, we collect them to reject the null hypothesis, so that we can accept the alternate hypothesis or the researcher's claim, so that whatever researcher study was going on, it is proved to be true. Now that can be accepted only if null hypothesis is proved to be rejected. Now if we cannot reject the null hypothesis, it does not mean that the null hypothesis was true. It just means that I don't have enough evidence to reject it. So here, if according to this example, if after doing the hypothesis testing, I was not able to reject the null hypothesis, it means that in those 2 tests and with those marks, average of 6, I was unable to conclude that self-study is better. Maybe if I'll take 10 more tests and with some different topic my average marks increase, then maybe I can reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternate hypothesis.